I have been a doom scroller since doom scrolling came into existence. Tumblr was the first place that my angsty preteen brain went to turn off and get turned on. They got rid of the porno, so I stopped using it. So I searched elsewhere and I found YouTube, which was a great space for long form content, but it didn't give me that hourly dopamine fix that my developing brain was looking for. And so I searched again and I found Vine. The birthplace of mindless scrolling for hours on end, adding no value to my life whatsoever. Vine launched on January 24th, 2013 when I was 15 years old. And I could not be happier that an app was deleted from existence because the content that was there of Hayley does not need to be seen ever again. And so my addiction to my phone and the dopamine it provided me had just begun. But just like that, Vine disappeared. And so I had to find new ways to find dopamine. And for me, that was getting outside. I became like a Pacific Northwest Instagrammer for a while. It was a phase. Until TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, they found me.
And just as a reminder, while you watch me have a full panic attack, please subscribe. That'll help me calm down. You'll see. Next clip, I'll be nice and chill.
And so, over years of becoming really attached to these types of dopamine inputs, my screen time became very embarrassing. Like, so embarrassing, it's really hard to admit. My screen time at its peak during the summer was 12 hours a day. Yes, I know that that's an absurd amount, and I tried to justify it for a really long time because social media is a large part of what I do for work, but it really only takes a minute to upload a video, so I shouldn't be doing market research for 12 hours a day. These numbers felt so disgusting when I looked at them in August that I decided, no more. Nope, I don't want to do this anymore. My goal, to stop doom scrolling. My plan, to research how to do that until I knew more than anyone else on this subject. My kink is intellectual dominance. The main app that I was on at this time was TikTok. I was scrolling roughly 6 hours a day. Oh my God. I know that this is awful, so you can stop bullying me about it. I wasn't doing it all at once, but when you scroll anytime the room is so quiet that your scary brain thoughts show up, you can scroll a lot. So what did I do? I began researching. Okay, so here's the thing. I have been watching dopamine detox videos for the last 2 hours, I swear to God. But I was cross-referencing all of the information from all of these different videos with actual research around ADHD and dopamine. And the main thing I realized was that 1, there's no scientific backing to a dopamine detox, and 2, they absolutely make no sense for an ADHD person. Here's why. A dopamine detox theoretically is meant to cut dopamine completely out of your system so that your body naturally restores and replenishes the dopamine. But a key point of ADHD is being dopamine deficient. And that doesn't just change when you stop giving yourself dopamine. So these detoxes make no sense. So that's 2 hours I'm never getting back, but on to the next thing. So I've been doing more research, and what I have realized is that this isn't about a dopamine detox. This isn't about doom scrolling even. It's about dopamine addictions. Here's what that means. Dopamine is a part of your reward system. This system is designed from an evolutionary standpoint to reward you when you're doing the things you need to do to survive, like eating, drinking, competing to survive, and reproducing. Our brains want that shit. And so reading this, I realized this is bigger than just doom scrolling. This is about how I get dopamine in my life. So I started with creating a plan. After searching far and wide, I combined the best suggestions I found online and created my rules for the month. 1, no scrolling on any social media. If I'm posting for work, then I'm setting guidelines around how I'm gonna do it, such as putting my phone down and allowing it to upload without scrolling. 2, no TV, movies, or videos. This includes all streaming services and YouTube, but I set the guideline to allow watching movies or TV with friends or my partner. 3, 30 minutes outside every single day. This can include a workout, but it doesn't have to. The main goal was to get natural dopamine from being outdoors. And finally, 4, active processing or journaling. I wanted to ensure I had a reflective space daily or weekly to check in with myself and make adjustments, so I committed to journaling every week. So here's the thing, if I don't give myself any sort of alternatives, I'm gonna be back to doom scrolling like that. When you're comfortable in a routine, especially one that involves addictive behaviors, you're not gonna be able to just snap out of it. There is a need or a compulsion that is needing to be filled, and so replacing that with something healthier is the goal. So I've created a menu of options for me to choose from so that when I feel the compulsion to doom scroll, I can pick something else.
So I went about my challenge day by day very enthusiastically, and here is how it went.
This was honestly way harder than I was expecting it to be. I knew it would be hard, but I didn't realize how hard it would be. What I realized is that there were 3 times of day that I was most likely to start doom scrolling. 1, before bed and right after I woke up. 2, between work tasks or when I am actively trying to avoid working. And 3, after I have posted something on social media. This is where I realized I needed to do a bit of preventative planning. Firstly, because I plug my phone in right next to my bed, it's so easy for me to grab first thing in the morning and at night. And so I started plugging it into the bathroom, which made it way harder for me to scroll because it's far away now. It's too much work to go there. I also started using my Alexa as my alarm clock instead of my phone, so I wasn't reaching for it first thing in the morning. Secondly, during work hours, I can ensure that my phone is on Do Not Disturb so I'm not constantly being bombarded by notifications and falling into scrolling at that point. And I could have smaller menu items for dopamine inputs during those times when I needed a break. And then posting content on social media during this time, I realized very quickly I needed a new plan. I'm realizing one of the other times that I am automatically going to scroll is the second after I've posted something, because I have to wait for the video to upload, and it's not immediate. It takes like a minute or two. And that minute or two of having to leave the app open is enough for me sometimes to get sucked in. If I'm posting, I have to, or at least try to, put my phone down while it's uploading. I think what I learned after a month of doing this is that sometimes scrolling is okay. It's the scrolling to actively avoid something, or if it's your only dopamine input and you're completely addicted to it, that's a problem. I was actively asking myself every time I went to reach for my phone why I was reaching for it, and I realized that there was a need I was trying to fulfill when I reached for my phone that could be fulfilled other ways. Oftentimes it was because I was trying to relax or have fun, or I was being avoidant of something that was causing me stress, and understanding that that's why I was going to scroll allowed me to consider other options of managing those needs. So by the end of the month, I was posting on socials and allowing myself to scroll for a little bit. The rule became that once it was posted on my feed and it was posted to my story, I would stop scrolling, which didn't always happen, but I am okay with that. Honestly, this one was the easiest one to follow because I don't really watch TV or movies on my own anyways, but YouTube is another story. I was so used to this habit I had created where first thing in the morning I would put a YouTube video on and I would continue to watch YouTube until I started my work day that it was really hard to break that habit. The alternatives I gave myself was listening to podcasts or listening to music. Sometimes it didn't really scratch the itch though.
This is the first time that I'm scrolling and watching YouTube in the background, and I don't want to fix it.
So after being mad at myself for starting this challenge in the first place, I sat down and did some active processing like I said I would do. I asked myself 2 questions. What hole am I trying to fill, and is this an act of self-love? And after writing those down, I realized that there were alternatives that were much better for me.
So it was definitely a challenge not to just run to YouTube any second that I needed some sort of stimulation. And so by the end of the month, the switch that I had made was ensuring that if I am watching YouTube, the content is providing me something. I'm finding it a lot easier now to consider if I am getting something out of the content or if I'm watching it just to like avoid doing other things or because I'm bored. So a lot of the content I'm watching now is educational or I'm learning something, and it actually fulfills me and fuels me and makes me feel good. To be perfectly honest, I was already doing this one every day, but it felt like a valuable thing for me to put down in my set of rules. Because I have a dog, I have to walk him every day. I just adjusted our routine to be that I was walking him first thing in the morning as a replacement for the dopamine that my phone would give me. This is definitely one of the most supportive things that I do for my mental well-being, is getting outside first thing in the morning. If I didn't have a dog, that would be very hard for me to do. The main setback in this area though was that I got so fucking sick.
So I got sick. And I feel like I've lost all my progress because all I have done today is scroll on my phone, watch YouTube, and watch TV. But at the end, I just don't care today.
I genuinely felt like I couldn't do anything, and I ended up hiring a walker for my dog because I just could not make it around the block. But that's fine, I could just hang out on my balcony if I wanted to, right? Wrong. I have not been this sick in a long time. The truth is I spent all of my time in bed watching YouTube and scrolling on my phone. I'm gonna be honest, there were 3 days there that I just did not think about the rules. But I made sure that when I started to feel better, I was able to go back onto my rules. And the main reason that I was able to do that was because of the next rule I put in place. Because I had set the rule that I was going to be doing active processing and journaling every single week, when I started to feel a little bit better and I did some active processing, I was able to actually make a plan to get back onto the rules. If I had done this without this rule in place, it would have been really hard for me to recognize the things and steps I needed to take to get myself back on track. So here's what I concluded after trying to stop doom scrolling for an entire month. Firstly, I am much more aware of why I am scrolling when I do reach for it. My screen time has been cut from that 12 hours a day to 3 hours a day. Holy crap. That's actually like an insane change that I wasn't expecting. I was kind of going into this thinking like, maybe I'll find a solution. It would be cool if I like cut that in half maybe. But to cut it to a quarter of what it was before, mind-boggling. And most of that time on my phone is spent messaging with friends or family, communicating through Slack for work type things, and editing videos for my social media. I would generally say that I am not a self-disciplined person. I mean, other people might disagree with that, but I have always felt like I'm not super self-disciplined, which makes me think that anyone watching this could replicate exactly what I showed you and see similar results. I was so confident of this actually that I created a program around it. The reason being, the one piece that I was missing when I did this for myself was accountability. As an ADHD person, I'm much more likely to do something if I know someone is holding me accountable to it versus just expecting myself to do it for intrinsic value. Anyways, this is my very long-winded way of saying this actually fucking worked. I feel a lot better on a day-to-day basis. And it feels like the dopamine inputs that I do have are just more fulfilling than things like scrolling or YouTube. So my question for you, if you're still watching, is what is stopping you from trying this yourself? Could be fun, could be cool. And if nobody has told you today, I am so proud of you. So proud of you. And I love you so much. And I will catch you in the next one. Okay, goodbye. Mwah.